Hello all and welcome. It is I, formerly known as the MGTOW Philosopher. Now I go by the name the Realist Philosopher, and I have returned. That is right, I am back on YouTube after a 6+ year hiatus. Yo! So, how y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good, fine, and well. So, for those of you who know who I am, I don't need to make this introduction, but for those of you who don't, I used to be known as the content creator, the MGTOW Philosopher, back in 2016, 2017, and I posted content that largely dealt with men's issues, both social and political, with a heavy tint of comedy and dark humor, with a dollop of philosophy, actually a foundation of philosophy, with a large dollop of comedy and dark humor tossed on top. However, my channel was erroneously and accidentally, mistakenly, would be the proper framing, suspended from YouTube. Recently, I said, what the heck? It's been 6-7 years. Why don't I just apply to have the suspension lifted? So I logged into my former MGTOW Philosopher email, an email that I actually didn't remember the name of. So I had to do a lot of searching through other emails that I had used as backups to get access to my account if I lost my password or for some reason lost the ability to access it. And then I found out the name, and then, by some miracle, I remembered the old password, logged in, couldn't, of course, log on to YouTube then once I had logged into that email, because that email was for the account of the MGTOW Philosopher that was erroneously, accidentally, mistakenly suspended by YouTube. And when I tried, it gave me a little click online that said, if you believe that your account has been mistakenly suspended, you can click this and tell us why. And so I said, what the heck? Sure. All right. A few hours later, I was back. I'm back, baby. So obviously, they realized that they had made an error. So now my channel is back. Now, for those of you who know how many followers I used to have, it's significantly less now. Isn't that interesting? A channel that couldn't be accessed, that for all intents and purposes didn't exist, has lost the vast majority of its subscribers in a 6+ year period, even though it didn't exist, it wasn't accessible in a way that would allow you to unsubscribe in the first place. But somehow it lost the majority of its subscribers. It's interesting how that works. But anyway, I still have a fair amount left, so hopefully I can build upon that to rebuild, add to my audience, and make my channel bigger and better than ever. And now that I am a more worldly, more experienced, savvier content creator, and I understand how things work now on social media when it comes to content creation and what is and is not acceptable, what is and is not verboten, hopefully I can avoid such misunderstandings in the future. So you might be wondering, what have I been up to? What has the artist, no, not really, content creator formerly known as the MGTOW Philosopher, who now goes by the name the Realist Philosopher, which is much more apropos, which I'll explain later, been up to? Well, for starters, I never stopped creating content, but this lack of savviness that used to exist in my approach to content creation and how the marketing of my content worked, or should work, my lack of sophistication in that regard led me to change my name. Like directly after the mistake that was my channel getting suspended, put on hold. And so I changed my name, which of course made it impossible for my old followers to find me. Oops! And I changed it to the Realist Philosopher. Now, why did I change my name? So the term MGTOW, the acronym MGTOW, has been poisoned. The well has been poisoned, as it were. It's been falsely framed as a radical ideological movement that is anti-female, that is misogynist, that is largely based foundationally on incels, and that it is an evil, alt-right, white supremist ideology. It's been framed in such a way that if you claim identification with that acronym, you are automatically put into a box that has all of these preconceived notions and ideas about who you are, and that makes it much more difficult for people to engage with you, to get past that and listen to what you have to say, because they've got all these biases that have been shoved into their head over the past 5-6 years of constant yapping by the mainstream media, by big tech platforms, associating it with white supremacy and misogyny and all that. So I decided to go with a different name. Also because I'm a philosopher. I'm a realist. And you could say that following the MGTOW way, that being a man going his own way is in and of itself a very realist-based approach to life. But anyway, I've always been a realist philosopher, and I don't really like a name that will pigeonhole you and make it more difficult for you to engage with people in the future, and that's just the nature, the reality of the beast we currently exist within the belly of. So I decided to go with a name that would essentially make me and my content a lot more accessible, and a lot more digestible, easier to engage with, without all these preconceived notions that I had prior. Now, of course, I am still going to use the name MGTOW Philosopher for quite some time for my channel, so that people know it's me, they know I'm back, and they can rejoin, they can return to the fold, as it were, and resubscribe to my channel, because they somehow, without their knowledge or ability to subscribe, got unsubscribed at some point over the past 6-7 years. Amazing how that works. Yeah, it's amazing. But anyway, what have I been up to? So I never stopped making content. I just moved to BitChute. And this is also where some of my lack of savviness in years past came in, because I started the BitChute channel about 6 months after I started my YouTube channel, but I didn't really push it as an alternative platform. I didn't do very much to send my YouTube followers, my YouTube subscribers, to my BitChute. So when my YouTube channel was mistakenly, erroneously scrubbed, people didn't know where to find me. Again, my error. So you go to BitChute, type in The Realist Philosopher, and you'll find me. In the past 6 years, I've made more than 1,600 pieces of content. That's right. I have a pretty big following on BitChute for BitChute. Almost 3,000 followers. Again, it's not a lot for YouTube, but for BitChute, that's quite a bit. So go check me out there, catch up on my content. A lot of people have told me that it's very difficult to view my older videos, that the stuff from way back 6 years ago doesn't work. I don't know. Some people say they have no problem. Other people say they can't play it. Maybe it's region specific. I don't really know about this accessibility problem. If you have an issue playing the older videos, let me know. I'd like to find out why that is, and maybe contact BitChute and see if it's something that they can correct. So I've been making content largely on BitChute. As you can see, my content has changed a bit. You see right here, a bust of Aristotle, a philosophical saying. That box is where I put videos that I'm going to review, or stories that I'm going to review. So essentially I screen capture and post that there. And as you can also see, you can now see my face. For those of you who followed me in the distant past, I didn't show my face. Now I am showing my face. Hello! I'm an old guy. Don't let my youthful appearance fool you. Yeah, youthful. Sunken eyes, hollowed cheeks. Yeah, I'm so young looking. But anyway, So that's what I've been up to in regards to content creation. I never stopped making content. For the past 3, 4 months, I haven't been making content though. I've been too busy with, life, work, survival, as it were. And as far as what's happening with me in my personal life, so I used to live overseas in China. I lived there for 15 years. I ran my own business, which gave me a lot of freedom and allowed me to choose my work times, which is how I was able to make content in the past and get on YouTube. But I moved away. I left China in late 2019, early 2020, came back to America. I've been back a little more than 4 years now, about 4 years. Not liking it too much. I'm thinking about returning overseas, either start another business or go work in a overseas company. America is going downhill big time. Hyperinflation, unemployment that's off the charts, an economy that's worse than it was during the Great Depression, even though nobody knows it because everybody's being gaslit by the establishment, by the media, by the government, by academia, all telling them how great Bidenomics is, but that's another story for another time. But I've been back for a while, participating in the rat race, and not much more to report other than that. I mean, of course, there's a whole bunch, but too personal to get into. So I'm many years older now, many years wiser, much more sophisticated when it comes to things like the YouTube algorithm and AI and voice recognition and certain words and phrases that'll get your videos demonetized or deboosted. That I should not say, things that if I had known 6 years ago, I don't think the mistake of my channel being torpedoed would have occurred, and it obviously was a mistake. But it did, and that's life. But I'm back now, baby. I'm back now. And I will be making content as much as I possibly can. I'm going to try to aim for 1 or 2 pieces a day. Don't hold me to that, though. I know it would be good for the algorithm, and it's good for the growth of my channel to post daily. I will try to post daily. I don't know about multiple videos a day. That's kind of tough. I have another channel that also got removed erroneously that has about 2,000 followers, and I'm going to post my political and purely philosophical content there. I believe the name of that channel is MGTOW Philosopher, so MGTOW and then Philosopher twice. I'm going to change the name of that as well, but at a later date, once people have recognized that I'm back via my name. Might be a little difficult if I change the name. They get notifications, they look, it says Realist Philosopher. I don't know who that is. So I'm going to keep the names that are currently existing, that are in place for those 2 channels now. I'm going to keep that for a few months and then change it to my current, more apropos moniker, The Realist Philosopher, which is really what I am. Anyhow, short update there. Wanted to let you know I'm back. And stay tuned. There is much more to come.